Welcome to Wonderslate. Subscribe to our YouTube channel for more updates. Topic for today's quiz is Biological Classification. Question number 1. In 5 kingdom classification, which single kingdom contains blue-green algae, nitrogen-fixing bacteria, and methanogenic Archaebacteria? Option A. Monera. Option B. Protista. Option C. Plantae. Option D. Fungi. The correct answer is Option A. Monera. R. H. Whitaker proposed the 5 kingdom classification including Monera, protists, fungi, plants, and animals. The kingdom of Monera is considered the most primitive group. The kingdom Monera includes organisms such as the Archaebacteria, nitrogen-fixing bacteria, methanogenic bacteria, cyanobacteria, BGA, and filamentous actinomycetes. These organisms are unicellular or multicellular prokaryotes which do not have well-developed cell organelles such as the nucleus, mitochondria, chloroplast, etc. Question number 2. Fungi usually store the reserved food material in the form of Option A. Starch. Option B. Lipid. Option C. Glycogen. Option D. Protein. The correct answer is Option C. Glycogen. The fungi are eukaryotes, which may exist in nature as either single and multi-celled organisms, or in both at different points in the life cycle. Fungi are usually found either as opportunistic saprophytes, living on dead organic matter, or in some parasitic or symbiotic relationship with plants or other autotrophs. Fungi digest food outside their bodies by releasing enzymes into the surrounding environment, exoenzymes, breaking down organic matter into a form the fungus can absorb food reserve stores as glycogen, like animals, not starch, like plants. Question number 3. Which one of the following is an incorrect statement regarding mycoplasma? Option A. They lack a cell wall. Option B. They are the smallest living cells. Option C. They cannot survive without oxygen. Option D. They are pathogenic in plants and animals. The correct answer is Option C. They cannot survive without oxygen. The mycoplasma are organisms that completely lack a cell wall. They are the smallest living cells known and can survive without oxygen. Many mycoplasmas are pathogenic in animals and plants. Question number 4. Fungi resemble algae in the presence of similar _. Option A. Reproductive structures. Option B. Cell wall constituents. Option C. Similar chlorophylls. Option D. Paramylon as reserve food. The correct answer is Option A. Reproductive structures. Both groups can reproduce by vegetative reproduction by fragmentation. Both algae and fungi can reproduce asexually by the production of various motile and non-motile spores. Sex organs are naked in both groups. No protective covering for organs in both groups. Question number 5. Identify the incorrect statement with respect to saprophytic protists. Option A. The plasmodium differentiates and forms fruiting bodies under favorable conditions. Option B. The spores are dispersed by water and air currents. Option C. The plasmodium is formed under suitable condition. Option D. The spores possess true walls but can survive only for a few months. The correct answer is Option D. The spores possess true walls but can survive only for a few months. The plasmodium is a sporozoan protist that passes its life cycle in 2 hosts, Anopheles female mosquito as a primary host and human as a secondary host. Its life cycle is complex as it involves 2 distinct sexual and asexual phases. The spores containing true walls are extremely resistant as it can survive for many years under unfavorable conditions. Question number 6. With the following statements about Euglena is correct. Option A. Euglena is a flagellate organism. Option B. Euglena when placed in continuous darkness, loses its photosynthetic activity, and dyes. Option C. The pigments of Euglena are quite different from those of green plants. Option D. Euglena is a marine protist. The correct answer is Option A. Euglena is a flagellate organism. Euglena is a class of single-cell eukaryotic. The species Euglena gracilis has been utilized widely in the research center as a model creature. Most types of Euglena have photosynthesizing chloroplasts inside the body of the cell, which empower them to nourish via autotrophy, similar to plants. Question number 7. Which statement is true about the main archaea? Option A. They differ from both prokaryotes and eukaryotes. Option B. They completely differ from prokaryotes. Option C. They resemble eukaryae in all aspects. Option D. They have some novel features absent in other prokaryotes and eukaryotes. The correct answer is Option D. They have some novel features absent in other prokaryotes and eukaryotes. Domains archaea contains single-celled microorganisms. These are prokaryotes. They do not have a true nucleus or membrane-bound organelles. They lack peptidoglycan in the cell wall. However, they have some novel features absent in other prokaryotes and eukaryotes. Instead of ester bonds like in prokaryotes and eukaryotes, they have ether bonds connecting fatty acids to molecules of glycerol. Question number 8. Members of Kingdom Protista are primarily Option A. Parasites. Option B. Terrestrial. Option C. Aquatic. Option D. Photosynthetic. The correct answer is Option C. Aquatic. All single-celled eukaryotes are placed under Protista, but the boundaries of this kingdom are not well defined. Members of Protista are primarily aquatic. This kingdom forms a link with the others dealing with plants, animals, and fungi. Being eukaryotes, the protist cell body contains a well-defined nucleus and other membrane-bound organelles. Question number 9. Viroids differ from viruses in having Option A. RNA molecules without a protein coat. Option B. DNA molecules with a protein coat. Option C. DNA molecules without a protein coat. Option D. RNA molecules with a protein coat. The correct answer is Option A. RNA molecules without a protein coat. The virus is the microorganism that made up of protein and has a protein coat as an outer covering. The virus is of two types on the basis of genetic material, either DNA containing or RNA containing. Whereas viroid is the smallest particle that contains RNA as a genetic material but does not contain protein as outer covering. Question number 10. Methanogens belong to Option A. Dinoflagellates. Option B. Slime molds. Option C. Eubacteria. Option D. Archaebacteria. The correct answer is Option D. Archaebacteria. Carl Woese proposed the classification of the organisms in three kingdoms, Archaebacteria, Eubacteria, and Eukaryota, which were later called the domains. The Archaebacteria are the group which is comprised of the primitive prokaryotic organisms like Methanogens. These are unicellular, anaerobic, and autotrophic prokaryotes. The cell wall lacks peptidoglycan and can convert carbon dioxide and hydrogen into methane gas. The hydrogen serves as an electron donor for the reduction of carbon dioxide. Question number 11. Chrysophytes, Euglenoids, Dinoflagellates and slime molds are included in the kingdom. Option A. Monera. Option B. Protista. Option C. Fungi. Option D. Animalia. The correct answer is Option B. Protista. R. H. Whittaker proposed a five-kingdom classification in which Protista is a kingdom which comprises organisms which are unicellular but eukaryotic organisms. Its members may be autotrophic or heterotrophic. Primarily these are aquatic. Protista kingdom has been divided into Chrysophytes, Euglenoids, Dinoflagellates, and slime molds. Question number 12. The primitive prokaryotes responsible for the production of biogas from the drug of ruminant animals include: Option A, Eubacteria. Option B, halophiles. Option C, thermoacidophiles. Option D, methanogens. The correct answer is Option D, methanogens. Methanogens belong to Archaebacteria. They are primitive prokaryotes. They produce methane gas or biogas. They produce biogas or marshy gas from the drug of ruminant animals. They are found in marshy areas and digestive tract of ruminants. Question number 13. One of the major components of the cell wall of most fungi is: Option A, chitin. Option B, peptidoglycan. Option C, cellulose. Option D, hemicellulose. The correct answer is Option A, chitin. The fungal cell wall is predominantly composed of carbohydrate polymers interspersed with glycoproteins. The three major components found in all medically important fungi are beta-glucans, polymers of glucose, chitin, a polymer of N-acetylglucosamine, and mannans. While these three components are intermingled throughout the cell wall, chitin tends to predominate near the plasma membrane, whereas the mannans have a propensity for the outer cell wall. Chitin is thought to mostly add structural strength to the cell wall. Question number 14. Which of the following statements is wrong for viroids? Option A, they lack a protein coat. Option B, they are smaller than viruses. Option C, they cause infections. Option D, their RNA is of high molecular weight. The correct answer is Option D, their RNA is of high molecular weight. Viroids are infectious, non-protein coding, highly structured small circular low molecular weight ribonucleic acids, RNAs, able to replicate autonomously and induce diseases in higher plants. Viroids are single-stranded covalently closed circular RNA molecules existing as highly base-paired rod-like structures. Question number 15. Which one of the following fungi contains hallucinogens? Option A, Morchella esculenta. Option B, Amanita muscaria. Option C, Neurospora sp. Option D, Ustilago sp. The correct answer is Option B, Amanita muscaria. Hallucinogen is the psychoactive agent that causes hallucination. It can be found in some plants and mushrooms. Amanita muscaria or fly amanita is a mushroom and psychoactive basidiomycete fungus. In the genus Amanita produces muscimol which has hallucinogenic properties. Question number 16. Archaebacteria differ from Eubacteria in: Option A, cell membrane structure. Option B, mode of nutrition. Option C, cell shape. Option D, mode of reproduction. The correct answer is Option A, cell membrane structure. Archaebacteria generally have the same shape, size, nutrition, and appearance as bacteria. They multiply by means of binary fission. However, Archaebacteria cell walls do not contain peptidoglycan. They also have different membrane lipid bonds as compared to the bacteria and eukarya. Archaea membrane lipids have ether bonds whereas bacteria have ester-linked lipids. Question number 17. The most abundant prokaryotes helpful to humans in making curd from milk and in production of antibiotics are the ones categorized as: Option A, cyanobacteria. Option B, Archaebacteria. Option C, chemosynthetic autotrophs. Option D, heterotrophic bacteria. The correct answer is Option D, heterotrophic bacteria. Heterotrophic bacteria require an organic carbon source for growth. They derive energy and carbon from organic compounds. Economically important uses of heterotrophic bacteria are: they enhance the fertility of the soil by nitrogen fixation, production of curd and yogurt from milk, cheese, butter, wine, production of antibiotics, They form an essential part of biogeochemical cycles during which they release essential elements, such as nitrogen and carbon for recycling. Cleaning of oil spills. Question number 18. Which one of the following does not differ in E. coli and Chlamydomonas? Option A. Ribosomes. Option B. Chromosomal organization. Option C. Cell wall. Option D. Cell membrane. The correct answer is option D. Cell membrane. E. coli is a prokaryotic cell whose cell wall is made up of peptidoglycan, while Chlamydomonas is a eukaryotic plant. The cell wall is made up of cellulose. Prokaryotic cells have 70s ribosomes, while eukaryotes have 80s ribosomes in their cytoplasm. Prokaryotes do not have histone proteins associated with their DNA, while eukaryotes have histone proteins for the chromosomal organization. The cell membrane structure is essentially the same in a prokaryotic and eukaryotic cell and made up of a phospholipid bilayer. Question number 19. Cyanobacteria are also referred to as option A. Protists. Option B. Golden algae. Option C. Slime molds. Option D. Blue-green algae. The correct answer is option D. Blue-green algae. Cyanobacteria are also referred to as blue-green algae. They are members of Monera. They are called blue-green algae because they are aquatic and photosynthetic. They are gram-positive photosynthetic prokaryotes that perform oxygenic photosynthesis. They are one of the most successful autotrophic organisms on Earth, which have mastered all types of environments: freshwater, seawater, salt marshes, moist rocks, tree trunks, moist soils, hot springs, frozen waters. Blue-green algae may be unicellular, colonial or filamentous. Cells are larger and more elaborate than bacteria. Heterocyst is present for nitrogen fixation. Question number 20. Organisms called methanogens are most abundant in option A. Polluted stream. Option B. Cattle yard. Option C. Sulfur rock. Option D. Hot spring. The correct answer is option B. Cattle yard. Methanogen belongs to the Archaebacteria group. They are capable of producing methane gas or marshy gas or biogas. They produce methane gas in marshy areas. They are most abundant in marshy areas and cattle yard where cow sheds are present. The methane gas produces a peculiar odor in these areas. Thank you for watching the video. If you'd like practice this quiz, then download the Wonderslate app now. Link in the description below. If you have any suggestion for us, feel free to leave comments. If you liked the video and want to see more of it, hit the thumbs up and don't forget to click on subscribe button to get more updates of the future videos.